Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going through my 2025 reading journal so far. January has finished and I have made a lot of updates. This is the first year that I'm doing a reading journal and I have watched so many of these videos throughout the years that I'm so excited to be able to make one of my own. I have had so much fun making a reading journal this year and I truly recommend it to everyone. This is just a basic journal that I got off of Amazon. Has a little pocket in the back where I have some future books to input in here, and I just got some photos off of Pinterest. I've been doing a lot of searching for different book aesthetics and finding little spreads that I liked so I could incorporate into my journal. It took me about a full weekend to make all of the initial spreads, and then I've just been having a great time slowly updating it. And I'm gonna now make this a monthly video where I show you progress, and hopefully we see some positive progress and different spreads don't just stay the same, because I want to show that I am reading and that I'm getting all my goals done for 2025. So let's just jump in, and I am so excited to show you what I've been working on. All right. Whew, this is a new angle for me, so hopefully this all works out well. So, right. First up, we have my reading goal for the year. I always mark my reading goal as 52 books in the year, or 52 weeks, so a book a week shouldn't be too bad. This month I finished 4 books, 2 ebooks, 1 physical, and 1 audiobook. And in January, we have 4 books, 2,280 pages, and my average rating was 4.44. It was a really good month. I love this spread. There's so many spreads in this book that I absolutely just love, and I will just talk about them as we see them. This is one of my favorite spreads. We have a little smear mark courtesy of Spencer. This is my 25 in 2025. If you have not seen this video, I will link it. But here I have the 25 books that I have to read in 2025, otherwise they get DNF'd. They immediately get unhauled. They have had their chance. They have had many chances. So these are them. I made a whole video of me randomly choosing them. This month I was able to mark off A Game of Thrones and Fix Her Up, and I'll talk more about those when we get up to January. I like being able to color them in, and eventually hopefully we'll have a fully colorful page here if I complete this challenge. My next is the page by page project. So this is all of the books I physically own and have not up to January 1st, 2025. So this does not include any books that I bought this year. These are all the books from previous years that I've purchased. And I was able to mark off 4 books this month, which is really good. We got Fix Her Up, Love Theoretically, A Game of Thrones, and The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra. Once again, this is just a page where I get to fill out pretty colors when I finish books, and the completionist in me really just likes being able to mark off different colors and slowly see this page getting filled up. It's really satisfying and just makes me want to read even more, just so I could fill out more of this page. Whew, my series tracker. So I also did a video a couple weeks ago about all of the books that I will be continuing. All of the series that I will be continuing in 2025. And these are them up until these are them. I will also link that video so you can see my thoughts on these series, and also the ones that I decided to not continue after 2024. This month I was able to add 3 series to this tracker: Drowned God series, A Thursday Murder Mystery Club, and A Song of Ice and Fire. I cannot wait to continue all these series. I feel like I need to make a goal in February that I need to continue one of the series on this page before I add any more, because there's a lot of series to be currently into. And I mean, I started 3 series this month and made no progress in any of the others. So that's definitely a goal for February, to make this a little more balanced and to hopefully have some updates around here. This is my tracker for all of the days that I read each month. In January, we started off a little slow. To be fair, I was at my fiance's in the UK and just enjoying that little vacation. But from the 16th to the 31st, I read every single day, and it is February 1st as I'm filming this because I was reading late last night, so a couple of these things had to be updated this morning, but I can say that I have read for February 1st as well, so hopefully February has some, keeps this consistency up, but I'm really proud so far of the January reading I've had. Now, this is probably my favorite spread. It's my mom's favorite spread. This is my DNF graveyard, because when I DNF a book, it is dead to me. And I have 2 books on here, unfortunately, from this month. Fix Her Up and The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra. I have had both of these books for years and have finally attempted them. There's going to be a video in a week or so of the page-by-page project where I go more in depth about these books, but unfortunately, while I didn't even want any books to be on this graveyard this month, 2 of them ended up there. So hopefully I will not have to make a second page of this, and we will have no more than 15 books DNF this year. Hopefully less, because I like completing books. I don't really like DNFing, but I am okay if I am not enjoying a book to DNF it. Next, we have the best book of 2025 bracket. Here, I have the best books in every month. Obviously, only January has happened. So, January's favorite book this month was A Game of Thrones. And no one is more shocked than me. Before even starting this book, I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I was going to have to trudge through it. It was going to be so hard to get through. And it turned out to be my favorite book of the month. So it was able to be added to our January spot, and after February we'll be able to choose a book for the second round, but I'm very excited for this to also fill up throughout the year. Now, my books hauled page. First of all, this is like my most designed page, and I love it so much. I spent so much time drawing and erasing and redrawing things, and I just think it's so cute. I did add a bunch of little details because this is the same amount of shelves as my page-by-page project. And the page-by-page project has about 150 books on it, and I better not haul 150 books this year. So I decided to not give myself that much space and to add some drawings and to just build it up. As I am doing with the page-by-page project, as I read these books, I will color them in. I have not read any of these books this month, but they are all on like the top of my TBR because I just keep looking at them and they look so pretty and they're new and I'm really excited to read them. So this month I have hauled 6 books, which is a lot, but in my defense, I was in the UK and the books in the UK are cheaper than the ones in the US, so I like to grab a few while I'm there. And also Onyx Storm came out and that was an immediate auto buy. I didn't get to read it this month, but I am in the middle of my reread of Fourth Wing, so I will be reading it soon. Next, the books that I have actually read this month. This is going to be filled with all of the months, but once again, only January happened. So, Curious Tides got 3 stars. The Thursday Mystery Club got 5 stars. Love Theoretically, 4.75. And A Game of Thrones, 5 stars. Now for my January spreads. I absolutely love how colorful these are. The completionist in me, I said this already, but the completionist in me loves a spread that starts all black and white and slowly just gets color as the month goes on and as progress gets made. It just makes me so happy. So, my January TBR, I finished 3 books out of the 6 of my January TBRs. This is a pretty loose TBR. It's just like my current priorities. I would have loved to read the Fourth Wing series in January. I just ran out of time. But here is a calendar of which books I read on which days and my final ratings for them. 1-star Romance and Fourth Wing I am still in the middle of, so they do not get a rating there. My monthly stats. I'm a massive nerd, so this is where things get fun for me. So my most read genres this month were fantasy and contemporary. And then we had a little YA, romance, mystery, and crime sprinkled in. For page count, I was very surprised that usually consistently I read books between 300 and 499 pages. But this month I was 50-50 for 500 plus and 300 to 499. Typically don't read books 500 plus because those scare me, but I did 2 this month. So I'm very proud of that. My ratings, I gave 2 books 5 stars, 1 4.75, and 1 3 stars. And for my format, half of the books were ebooks, then I had 1 audio and 1 physical. So these are some of my reviews, including some little DNFs. And then we have my Game of Thrones. Now this does contain some spoilers, so don't read this if you do not want spoilers. But this is just my pure chaotic thoughts while reading a Game of Thrones. Anytime I had a thought, a prediction, anything that I thought was going on, I wrote it down here. Added some pictures from Pinterest, and this was just how I got through that 800-page book. Kept track of characters, kept track of what the plot was going on. That book switches perspective every chapter, so sometimes it just needed a little refresher about what was happening with certain characters, and this is a very chaotic spread, but I do think it's very pretty. Now, the next page, I added this little tab so I can see this when I close the book. But this should be in with the yearly spreads, but I decided halfway through the month to add this, and I figured that throughout the year I might add some more yearly spreads, so I'll just add this little tab, and I know it's here. I'll just flip back to it. So this is my Book of the Month spread, and I decided that I really want to make sure Book of the Month is my only book subscription that I pay for every month, and I wanted to make sure that I'm actually utilizing it. So theoretically that should mean that I read 12 Book of the Months throughout the year, because I get 1 book every month. Here is where hopefully I will have 12 books by the end of the month. So far I read Love Theoretically, which was a book of the month, and currently I'm in the middle of One Star Romance, which is also a book of the month, but I just want to keep track and make sure that I'm actually getting the most out of my subscription. And then finally we have just some last reviews of the last 2 books that I read in the month. And now for a little peek into February, just a little peek. Here is the start of my February spread and my TBR for February. So I do want to read the Empyrean series, reread A Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and finally read Onyx Storm. It's also Valentine's Day, so I do want to read the rom-commers. I like having some romance in February, and also just things that have been on my shelf that have been just popping out to me recently are Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Legends and Lattes. Both of those I'm really excited for, and I just want to dive in. And that is my reading journal so far. I will make another one of these videos at the end of February, hopefully with some progress. And I truthfully just doing my journal whenever I finish a book, and just like updating small things about it has just been so fun, and just flipping through it has made me so happy. And I'm so excited to share this with you, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below any questions or any thoughts about it, maybe some ideas for future spreads. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next